Hello Shiny viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on channel NITT. In this episode, I am going to talk about ENTJ and love relationships. So previously, we have already covered some ENTJ in love topics. So I will include all the past videos that we have done about ENTJ in love in our description. If you have not watched them, do feel free to look at them. So in this episode, I'm going to provide more information and input about the ENTJ in love relationships that I have not covered before. Hopefully, this will help fellow ENTJs and viewers who are interested in loving the ENTJ or who are in a relationship with the ENTJ. So many of the online YouTube videos on ENTJs say that the ENTJs may find it very hard to even commit themselves to love or a relationship or dating because they are so engrossed with work. Let me explain from an ENTJ's point of view, this is bullshit. My personal belief is that there is no such thing called no time. If an ENTJ wants to love you, surely he will be able to find time. So if you are familiar with the game Trivial Pursuit, ENTJs function very much like that. They want to collect every slice of the wedge so that they can win the game in life. So love is definitely one of this. We want to have love and we want to have a romantic relationship. Because the ENTJ is built to be very efficient, no matter how little time we have, we will be able to squeeze out this time. So from this ENTJ's point of view, there are no barriers. If we are in different countries, no problem. I am okay to have a long distance relationship. I don't care about practicality much because I'm not the S type. Do take note that if an ENTJ decides to commit to you, it is for real and the intention is to have a lifelong relationship or as long as possible. There isn't really such a thing called try out unless you're talking about an immature young ENTJ. Because trying out is a waste of time. We would have already used our NI to assess whether you are possible before we commit. So if we have decided to commit to a particular someone, that particular someone would have passed certain tests. In this case, I would think that the test is generally aesthetic or could be intellectual. There will be certain criterion and it differs from one ENTJ to another ENTJ. To me, it is definitely aesthetics. First, intellect is important, but it is not a criterion that I would feel that is topped. If you are not that intelligent, that's okay. If I'm intelligent enough, I can cover your ignorance. When we talk about aesthetics, personally my standard is not very high. As long as I can foresee myself having you beside me on the bed for a long time, that's fine. So just to elaborate, so in my case, as a judger, I mind a lot about bodies. So definitely, I would prefer to have the slimmer body shape, prefer shorter individuals, but not necessarily so. But I don't think that I can actually tolerate big size. And another thing, no piercings, no large tattoos. But of course, this is only what this ENTJ is bothered about. I'm not too sure about other ENTJs. Definitely, different ENTJs have different criterion. What is the benefit of becoming an ENTJ's lover? Aplenty. So in one of my previous episodes, I mentioned that the ENTJ actually divides people into pigeonholes. It just separates people into different classes. So I actually separate people into tiers. While MBTI types like the ENFJs, ESFJs and the ISFJs may do everything for every friend, this is not so for the ENTJ. I can be periodically generous to some friends or important friends, but if you are a lover, you are definitely always going to be in tier 1 or at least tier 2. The inner tiers, you straight away have access to it. So this means that I will be exclusively nice to you, and this exclusively nice, it's continuous. It may not seem like a big deal to a lot of the FE DOMs, but because I am not FE inclined, this is a big deal. So because you are in tier 1 and tier 2, you need to know that I am willing to be vulnerable to you. So if I am unhappy at work, if I have stresses and anxieties, I will share them with you. anything that is unpleasant that I've experienced, any of the joys, I will also want to share them with you. Because you are in tier 1, you're important to me. I treat you like a companion, a friend, an intimate confidante. So in my personal experience, I have dated SI DOMs, like ISTJs particularly. They really like to nag. So any SI users, if you are dating an ENTJ, please take note of this. Generally, for me, I think my threshold is very high, despite the fact that I am always being gunned down by SI DOMs, like telling me that you should do this, you should be traditional, you should be conservative, you should save, all those kind of things. I still continue to tell them all these things. Actually, I think that from their point of view, it may also be a sore because it seems as if I never learn. But think of it from my perspective. If you are in this tier, I continue to tell you about this kind of things. It means that I value you. So hopefully this can give you some form of a communication perspective. It's not that the ENTJ doesn't learn. The ENTJ may find it very hard to adjust to a SI mode because they are SI blind. But if they love you, they will continue to tell you things that you may not want to hear. So talking about SI blindness, there is one issue. A lot of the SI individuals, they like to tell me to clean. But from the ENTJ's point of view, it's very hard to do so. If the ENTJ ever wants to do something or allocate certain of his resources to learning something or learning a new skill, it's definitely not going to be SI related. So the ENTJ is likely to be a capable individual, wants to be a better version of themselves. If you are a lover of the ENTJ, please appreciate the ENTJ for that, because not everyone is like that. So anyone can clean, no problem with that, but that's what commoners do, right? This could be a put off, but you really got to know that the ENTJ is very special. The ENTJ is likely to be someone who has got a lot of achievements. Look at that instead of focusing on facts that the ENTJ is not very oriented towards things like cleaning, orderliness, or replying text. So I think I have a blind spot. I sometimes skip text when I need to reply. Nowadays, people like to send a lot of questions at the same time, right? Sometimes I have seen the question, but I tend to skip them. So this also gets onto the nerve of many individuals, especially some ISTJs. So when an ENTJ is in love with you, they tend to be very generous towards you. Unless the relationship has gotten very lopsided, they tend to be not calculative at all. They can give more, that's no issue. They like to run errands for you. Why? Because the ENTJ really likes to add value to the individual. They want to feel useful in a relationship. So what can you do for the ENTJ in return? It's actually very simple. You need to validate the ENTJ. What this means is that you tell the ENTJ that you love him or her periodically. Sometimes hold on to the ENTJ's hand like this, claps, and hold it very tightly and convey a message that this person is very important to you. These are very subtle messages, but they do matter. Now praise the ENTJ a lot, that will help. Give the ENTJ credit for being special, for being intelligent, for being capable, for being very good at making money, whatever the case is for that particular ENTJ. Praise the ENTJ, give ENTJs compliments periodically, but not too much. Let the ENTJ know that you cannot do without this ENTJ. This is what I think most ENTJs want in a relationship. That will be enough. So now I'm going to talk about one ENTJ weakness, and that will be a warning for many fellow ENTJs. So one thing I've discovered about ENTJs is that because we are not SI inclined, we don't tend to check on people. We don't wait at WhatsApp to see what time they come in, whether they might be cheating on us. We just let the person be who they are. So in this case, we give the person the benefit of the doubt. So this can come off as a very big surprise when we are blindsided, and it has happened quite a lot. So I have experiences whereby a person that I date casually tells me that she has found someone else, or she is also seeing someone else and she's choosing that someone else. So I have very classic videos in this channel documenting my affection for an INTJ So I was surprised to know eventually that an INTJ was actually seeing someone else when I thought that this INTJ was seeing me. So anyway, being blindsided is a very shitty feeling. Absolutely unpleasant. So sometimes ENTJ should not just treat the thing as it is. Sometimes our relationship is going on so well, it goes on an auto mode. Always try to upgrade yourself and make your love life more interesting. Spice it up sometimes. If not, your lover might run away. Okay, viewers, regardless of whether you are an ENTJ or otherwise, I would really love to hear some comments from you so that we can do more of this. Because at our channel, we really like the concept of indigeneity. A lot of YouTube channels, they talk about the ENTJ as if they are ENTJs, but really misrepresenting the ENTJ like hell. So if you really want to know anything about the ENTJ or want to talk about it, I think here at this channel, we would be better at giving you more accurate answers. So at Channel NITT, we produce a lot of ENTJ videos such as this one. If you have enjoyed, do consider subscribing if you have not already subscribed, and also like this video please. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.